Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week to This Georgia Clay. So if you guys are new here, we are doing a vintage remodel refresh of our guest room. We affectionately call this place or this room Suite 903. It represents our closing day. We closed September 3rd of 2001. So that's why it's nicknamed 903. So in this room, to start off, just to give you guys a little background, if you guys missed last two vlogs within this series, this room used to be plain. It was boring. It was one of our very first DIY projects that we did, a board and batten in our house on a large scale, and it showed that. It looks like a very first DIY. This Georgia Clay has come to being confident in our remodels and also just client projects in general that we decided to go ahead and tackle a room within our space, within our home that really needed some love and attention and incorporate color. Color is really huge for me. I'm normally a white, black, simple kind of girl where I like neutral colors, things like that, lots of ivory tones. So this room is very much so out of my comfort zone, but I absolutely love it. Matt and I we can't wait to enjoy it. We're actually going to have a sleepover in this room before we have guests to actually enjoy it. So it's kind of like our little Airbnb within our house. So just to recap, this whole back wall used to be board and batten just in white. The color that's up here, which is the color inside my entire home, is called Extra White by Sherwin-Williams, and we decided to go ahead and change up some things. That purple tape that you see over there, we are thinking about putting in some sconces, but that quickly has changed. You guys will see that in the reveal, that we're not doing sconces anymore. And that was just a logistic thing that it just wasn't gonna work out. But anyways, so this used to be white with board and batten. It was floor to ceiling. Matt took off all the board and batten, repatched the wall, made sure that it was nice and smooth so we can put on the new battens. And then I have painfully painted this entire room. I have been on my hands and knees painting it, and it has truly been a labor of love. So anyone that comes to enjoy this space, you better love it because I spent my time in here. But no, so you'll see some elements here that we are starting to do, like I said, in the reveal, which is gonna be in the next week. Actually, we're gonna do our reveal. So you guys will see everything. But in this week's vlog, we are showing you guys our fireplace that we put in. It has the vintage details on it that we have. It's some braided, braided molding that we put around the fireplace, and just absolutely gorgeous. You'll also see me talk through some design elements as well, because it was really tough on me. I didn't know exactly how I wanted it to come out, but I absolutely love the results. So let's go ahead and get in this week's vlog.
All right, here we go, y'all. Another electric fireplace. This will be the third one in our house, and I don't know, like the 10th one we've made just in general, but it may or may not be the last. So yeah, here we go. I'm just finding the studs here in the room. The studs in this wall are 24 inches apart, so I can only get 2 studs to be able to mount the frame to the wall. But let's go ahead and get started with the frame. So I think the sides are probably the most important, so I'll start with that. And I try to include at least one tip for you guys. So in every 2x4 is an 1.5 inches thick. So if you put 2 of those together, that's 3. Meaning if I want a 10-inch fireplace, right, I need to take 3 inches off of that 10. So that leaves me 7 that I need to cut from my support pieces in the middle. All of those together will give you your 10 inches that you desire. So it all depends on what you want, but I think that's probably the most important part of starting a fireplace. So yeah, once we get that all put together, we will be good to go ahead and start the sides and then get the front together, and yes, on to the next step. So it's been a while since I've used pocket holes because I've been able to pretty much use screws for everything as far as electric fireplaces go, but I wanted to use pocket holes here because I was doing it just a little bit different. Instead of mounting like 1x6s to the wall and then screwing my sides into that, I decided to just use like a 2x3 that I had scrap laying around, drill some pocket holes into it, and then screw that into my side piece, my side supports. And that way it's kind of like a cabinet at that point. That way I could just secure the whole thing to the wall. So that was my thought behind that. And then I went ahead and started the front frame. So this is pretty simple. You're basically just taking the space in between your side supports and then building a frame to go there. That's pretty much it. So I think the most important thing for the front is figuring out how high you want your fireplace insert to be. In my case, I wanted it to be like about 10 inches off the floor. So again, it's kind of just like the side supports. You take 3 inches off, and then that's the amount that you need to cut for your bottom supports. So same process. So if I wanted 10 inches off the floor, take 3, that's 7 inches that I need to cut for those supports you see here, the 3 supports at the bottom, and that will give me a 10-inch lift off of the floor. So yep, pretty straightforward. Get everything secured in there, and then next you can move on to figuring out the opening that the fireplace needs to fit in. So pretty much anything in construction, as far as like doors, fireplaces, everything is going to have like a rough opening. And you can see here from the instruction booklet, it was about 39 inches wide and 25.5 inches high. So once you get that figured out, it's basically at that point you're just making sure everything is centered to the frame. So I'm just taking away the space from each side that will give me an equal amount, and that will make sure my fireplace is centered perfectly. All right, y'all. So as I'm editing this video, I realize that I tend to hop around a lot, especially if I figure out while I'm doing something that I need to do something else. So I figured out that I needed to add an outlet because we didn't get one with the builder for the TV. So I needed to add one myself. So I took that out. You make sure you get one of these tools right here. It's a no contact voltage meter or voltage tester. Those are awesome. I touch everything just to make sure that there's no electricity flowing, no hot wires are gonna shock me or anything like that. But you want to get an old work box. There's an old work box is basically you're just adding an outlet into an existing wall. So I'm just tracing it out here, making sure it's straight and level and all that. And then I trace it out, and then I'm gonna cut it out with a multi-tool so we can go ahead and get that popped in. Now keep in mind, you don't have to use a multi-tool to cut a hole for an outlet. You can always get an old-fashioned jab saw. They're cheap and it works perfectly fine. All right, so once we got that cut out, I'm just running my Romex up the wall here. Romex is pretty sturdy, so it's you can use like a fishing wire. They have like magnets that you can use to pull the wire up to the hole, but I figured, you know, it was just a single bay that I'm running up, and it was pretty easy to get that up to that hole so I could grab it. So no fuss, no muss. And once I got that pulled through and secured, we were ready to get everything wired up. So here you can see that these are made for drywall, so all you have to do is tighten it up, and like I showed you with that little clip, it grabs onto the back and secures itself to the wall. All right, so now we have an outlet ready for the TV, so we can go ahead and get that hung. This is another tool you want to get. It's a circuit tester. All you want to see here is those two lights that say correct. If you see anything else, you did something wrong. So let's go ahead and get this mounted to the wall so we can go ahead and finish setting up the fireplace. All right, if you haven't noticed that the front face frame here is not flush with the sides, and I did that on purpose because we had everything planned out. And that's one big thing I would say is make sure you plan everything out, because the way you frame is exactly how your fireplace is gonna come out. So you have to plan. So I got my son involved here doing a couple cuts for me. We basically are cutting the MDF that's gonna cover the front of the fireplace. And then kind of going from there so we can do the top, the sides, and get everything detailed out. It's gonna come out real nice, so just keep watching. So a little behind the scenes moment, Jalen was asking me how did I know where to nail? And I told him you can see the frame. Plus, you know, when you build it, you kind of know where things are, so you just know kind of where to point the nail. But let's go ahead and get this front face frame on so we can start making this thing look pretty. I'm so ready to be done. This was actually a lot of work, but I'm ready to go ahead and hand this job over to Brittany so she can finish up with the paint.
So with this fireplace, I wanted to do something a little bit different, something that we haven't done prior. As you guys know, that we love to partner with our friends at Touchstone Home Products. I absolutely love their electric fireplaces. To me, in my opinion, they're the most realistic, they just look really nice. A lot of electric fireplaces can come off looking cheesy, but I absolutely love theirs. I use them for client projects and also within our home as well. This is our media space. I absolutely love it. And then this was a client project that we did for actually one of our neighbors across the street. So just taking a look at their website, they do have various products to choose from. They even have outdoor fireplaces now. That seems like so much fun. Maybe that's something that we can do later on, maybe next year. But I was scrolling on their website and I just really wanted to go with the square fireplace. So the one that I chose was the 40-inch recessed smart electric fireplace. And I absolutely love it. It is Wi-Fi enabled, so it is compatible with Alexa or Google Home. So I do love that you're able to utilize it to set the mood for any guests if you're using it in a guest room or within your home, just to have Alexa work a little bit better for you. It also heats up to 400 square feet, so I do love that. It'll have no problem heating up this room. It comes with faux logs, or it comes with crystals. I utilize the log rather than the crystals, so I just prefer that look. And then it does have various colors as well that you can choose from just to set the mood just right. So getting back into the fireplace build, for this one I wanted to really have a lot of depth and dimension in the fireplace, a lot of character, a lot of appeal, again trying to get some of that vintage appeal that you would have like an older home. So just a fireplace that just looks like it's more lived in, that it's been around for quite some time. So that's really what we were going for here. Matt did an awesome job with knocking out the inspiration and making sure to execute it really well. I was very surprised when I saw a lot of the work that he did. I wasn't home, or either I was working, so every time that I would come back in the room and check out the progress, it was just a breath of fresh air to see like, yes, he's getting it, he's doing it. So so far I really think that this fireplace may be my favorite one out of all of the ones that we've done so far, and we've built 8, so that's a lot. So again, to give it some more of that vintage appeal, I decided to go ahead and ask Matt to put on some decorative molding for me. So I went ahead and went over to my local, I believe I got this from Lowe's, just some decorative crown molding that you can use. And I felt like that braided detail would be really nice to have like in the recessed portion of the fireplace. And look at that, doesn't it look so good? I absolutely love it. Matt did a great job doing the 45 angles, getting that just right. Look at that, gorgeous. But I just feel like it was the final detail that it needed. So I wanted to address just one detail within the fireplace. So someone might say, why is the trim so close to the fireplace insert? Well, I wanted to be able to see the fireplace while someone was in the bed, and I felt like if we would have lowered the fireplace unit itself, then it would just have taken away from that, since the bed itself has a footboard. So I just wanted to go over that as to why it is so close. It's because of just aesthetic reasons when you're in the bed. But other than that, moving forward, he's putting in a 1x4 here just to create that additional depth. But look how beautiful it's looking from afar. I just absolutely love it. Again, this fireplace was all about the details, and he executed flawlessly. So once Matt was done building the fireplace, he gave it over to me, and it was time for priming. Okay, I just wanted to stop and let you know a little bit of my progress. Obviously, this is not dry, and additional coats of paint have to go on. So my dilemma here is the color. As you can see, I put some green on the wall. It'll be shiplap, but the ideal was the shiplap would continue the length of the wall, and the shiplap would be green, and then the fireplace would be white. However, I feel like the white does nothing for the braided trim, like nothing whatsoever. So I decided to paint it green. Now I'm at the dilemma. I'm like, what do I do? Because I feel like it all being green is just too much. I'm thinking now, my head hurts. I want to paint this all green here, and then just keep the insert or the trim around here white. I know the camera's a little blurry, so if you can see, this will stay white, and then the top around would be green. I guess the worst case is I'll go ahead and paint it, and if I don't like it, I'll prime it back and we'll start all over again. But yeah, I'm tired. I am tired of thinking about it. I just want it to be done at this point. It's just design-wise trying to get those finishing touches, and I feel like the fireplace is a big focal point. But the reason why I didn't really go white is because, as you can see, the primer is basically the same shade as the wall. And I just feel like, again, it just didn't do anything for the fireplace. So let's see.
Alright, so to be expected, sometimes you have to cut around an object. In this case, the shiplap butted up against the fireplace, so I needed to cut a notch around it. So all I did was I measured from the top of the baseboard to the top of the fireplace to get my height, and then from the side of the fireplace to where the last piece of shiplap was that I did, so that I could figure out what I needed to cut. And then I took it over to the table saw, cut out that notch, and got a pretty clean fit.
I love how flush that looks to the fireplace. Absolutely looks so good. It's just about the details, taking that additional time to make those cuts that you need. So now you'll see Matt installing our new mount here. It is a full motion mount, so it can't come away from the wall, but we don't intend on utilizing it that way. But if a guest wanted to rotate it or move it, they definitely can do that. So now that the mount was in, it was time to go ahead and finish up shiplapping the wall. Making sure to use that stud buddy or stud finder, whichever one that you guys have, to make sure that we're putting in some nails within studs, or as many nails as we can. But I just love how this is coming together. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. When I tell y'all I was tired of this painting, I was tired. I don't think I want to ever paint an entire room by myself ever again. Taking a little break from painting. I would have to say I am so over this. I even thought about changing courses and spraying, but by the time I would prep everything, I probably could have been done. So I am going to stay the course and just know that it's almost done and I can come in here and enjoy. But it's just painting in between those slats. I know I should have probably painted the slats before putting it up, but I was like, no, it's okay, I'll do it. I should have learned my lesson the last time. Once you guys saw me paint that black shiplap vertical battens, not battens, but vertical shiplap in my foyer into my owner's suite, and that was a pain. And I guess that was too long ago for me to remember to not have to suffer again. Let's get back into it. Let me know what you guys think. I absolutely love it. I want to thank Touchstone Home Products for sending over this fireplace to us. I absolutely love it. It has exceeded my expectations in terms of the fireplace insert itself. I love how large it is. I thought, like, you know, we've done a lot of linear fireplaces, and I really wanted to have one that's more of just a nice kind of wood burning fireplace, so to speak. So a natural firebox. So I absolutely love it. I love the fireplace wall. I love the accent wall. I love the detailing around the fireplace as well. I went back and forth on this. This is just a little bit of inspiration to show you guys what the reveal is kind of going to look like. It's going to change a little bit. We actually are on our way after we shoot this to go and pick up a large order of decor pieces for this room. So it's going to change a little bit, but I absolutely love it. The fireplace has just, it needed to be in here. I know Matt was like, we don't need any more fireplaces, but a girl can never have too many fireplaces in her home. And I love, like, just a little background of me. I love, like, historical time, like kings and queens and stuff. And they have fireplaces in every single bedroom. It showed wealth, I guess. And so for me, you know, modern days, my wealth is these electric fireplaces, and I absolutely love them. I think they're so beautiful, and they just scream elegance and within a home, and I love it. And I know this isn't our forever home, so whoever gets it, they're gonna know that this home was built with a lot of love and care, and just the detailing is just so impeccable, and I absolutely love it. So anyways, that's my little spill there. But again, this fireplace had really challenged me, this whole accent wall. I went back and forth and I was like, the fireplace is gonna be a different color. I don't want it to be green. But then as I painted it, and I was thinking, I was standing back, I was talking to my girl Kay on FaceTime, showing her, talking to Matt, and I was like, it just needs to be green. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, babe, it needs to be green. And I absolutely love it. You love it, babe?
Yeah.
I think it was a perfect, I told him, I said, it doesn't need to be too complicated. And I think I was trying to make it overly complicated. And I just feel like it just needs to be a nice accent point. And the whole point of the fireplace is a beautiful insert. And it really gets to shine amongst all of that green. And I love it. I also love changing up the tone in here with putting the shiplap on the back wall rather than doing the board and batten around the whole room. A lot of people might like it to be cohesive and have the same wall treatment around the whole room. But I mean, it gives you some time to have some fun, and then also, like I said, make an accent wall here and just change it up just a little bit. So I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. I know my parents are gonna love it too. We have a rug that's coming in here and a whole bunch of decor pieces, so I can't wait. We are gonna build a frame here, so you guys will see that in the reveal as well, just to make it look more antique in here. Again, the whole vibe within this space is just very vintage, and Matt absolutely loves it. He feels that when you come in this room, it just needs to be natural light. It doesn't need a lot of the lights on or anything, even though there'll be a lot of lighting treatments in here once it's all done. It's just, if you would like to have lighting, you can. But when we think about it though, I feel like this room needs to be entered with candlelight only because it's just so, it's really romantic and it's entirely different from the rest of my home. So I love it. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week to this Georgia Clay. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and definitely interact with me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this room. I love it. You know, it's totally different for your girl. So let me know what you guys think. Bye guys.